Hey fam, it's Tia and you're welcome back to the second part of how to sew this beautiful neckline gown. So the first thing you're going to do is to draft your basic skirt block. Here I have my back pattern with my zipper region. As you can see, zipper extension. So this is the length of the skirt. I'm going to be using the hip. As you can see, the waist, the hip has been highlighted, so in allowance have been added, and I just went ahead to cut this out on my fabric. So after doing that, I'm going to be using this back pattern to cut out my front pattern. First of all, the length of the fabric I have here was about 40 something. That's the length, and that's the length of the fabric. And I went to the extreme edge to place my back pattern. Now what you want to do is to have an extension of 15 to 20 inches in addition to the length of your normal skirt. Okay, so what I'm doing here is to indicate the part I want the pleat to stop, maybe your heels or your hip. It depends on you. So I went ahead with my hand. This was more like a freehand, okay, freehand design. I went ahead with my hand to create pleats. No particular measurement. I had to just use my eyes for details, okay. So I went ahead to make pleats with my hands, and one thing I ensured is that the pleat has the same width. So, and after that, I just went ahead to place my back measurement, or my back pattern rather, on this pleat to see if they fit well. As you can see, I also went ahead with my ball head pin to pin the split down so that it's going to be in place. If you have a steam iron, I advise you also press, but if you don't, then I think using a pin can work. So that's why pins are really important. So I went ahead to place the pin on each and every part of this pleat so that I'm going to have something stable and structured to work with. So far, this is what it looks like. And the next thing I'm going to do, remember, there is a slit. It has a front slit on the dart part in front. So as you can see what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to fold on the particular dart part. So this is me placing my back pattern to see if what I have is accurate. But then remember that I already have my zipper region, okay? So it means I have more than enough fabric here. So I had to fold again because I really don't want to waste this fabric. So after this, I discovered that, okay, this particular measurement is fine with me. And just look at what I'm doing. I'm going to be cutting this directly. It means these other parts can be useful for other projects. I don't need them again. So I went ahead to follow that pencil line to the end. And yes, I removed my pin back into my pin cushion, and this is what I'm going to be using to draft the front part. Now you might be wondering, where is the sewing allowance for the extension allowance for that front because of the slits? Remember that the back already has an extension of 1.5 inches. So that was why I did not add any other allowance to the front again. So now this is the front, and yes, just trying to ensure everything, the pleats especially, are in details. So the first thing I try to do, I'm doing here rather, is to indicate my darts. And for this person, I'm making use of 4 inches, that's a bust pan. And after indicating that dart, as you can see, after opening it up, I'm going to be creating a straight line from that dart point down to the end of the skirt. So I tried measuring to see if everything I have is accurate for the waist measurements, the hip measurements, and even the nail measurements before I continue. So you want to do this so that you don't waste your fabric. So this is just me trying to, indicate that part so that I'll be able to have something to work with. So like I said, I'm going to be dividing this skirt in two parts because it has a slit. So I'm just following that bust pan, which is our dart, which is where our dart is supposed to be. And after making that straight line, this is my back pattern, remember. Now, another thing you want to pay attention to is this. This is where the front side look like. The front side, this is where this white pattern is. So you want to make sure that it is on the opposite side. Okay, look at what I'm about to do. I'm placing this. So the white part is on the left, while this part is on the right. The slit is on the right. Please pay attention to that. So that is why you see I'm cutting on the back part. Okay, at this junction, I'm also trying to check if the darts for the front and the back are properly aligned because, I'm going to be placing this skirt. I'm going to be joining it to the front. Okay, so what I'm doing now is after creating a straight line on the other side, I'm also creating a straight line on the front so that I will have something to work with. So please pay attention to this so that you don't end up putting the two sides on the same place. So I added zero point 0.5 as I was cutting exactly on the pattern. I added zero point 0.5, so I did not cut on that particular straight line, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to pin the sides together and just take it to the sewing machine, as you can see, and stitch it down to where I want the slit to start from. So I'm just going to take this to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew this down right now. Okay, so this is just me ensuring that everything is properly aligned. You want to take your time here. So as you can see, they are properly aligned. So be patient while doing this. So far, I've been able to sew these 2 points together. As you can see, this is what the back look like. If you have a serger, it's best to interlock this part and make use of your iron to press this down. So I'm just here with my pins. They are really helping out, and I'm going to be closing the slit part. I'm going to be using an hemi glue to ensure everything is in place. So at this point too, I went on with my front and back pattern to check if everything is still in shape after joining together. And I noticed I had a little bit of excess on the front part. So what I'm going to do is to go in with my scissors and, as usual, trim that particular excess so that I don't have bulkiness on my skirt when I'm done sewing. Now this is what it looks like and everything is coming together. So the next thing I want to do here is to join my front and my back pattern together for the skirt, but then I'm going to be joining the back pattern for the skirt together. I'll join both sides together and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is it, fam. As you can see, I joined both sides together completely because there's no slit at the back, and I also went on to sew my darts for the back pattern or for the back skirt. As you can see, I'm going to be putting interfacing on that back part because of my zipper so that it will give the skirt stability. Remember, this is not lined. This is one trick to ensure you have perfect finishing on your slit region or the likes. So this is just me pinning everything together. Because of the pleats, you want to take your time with this type of skirt. Yes, you want to take your time to pin together so that nothing is going to be wrong, like rumpled or folded on something else. So fam, please take your time while doing this. So after doing that, I'm just going to, indicate my measurements. I started with my waist measurements. I indicated it there. Please use your own measurements. I went to the underside. I also indicated this. Then I went to the hip region, hip length first, then indicated my hip circumference, not my hip circumference. I don't know why I keep saying my client circumference. So fam, if you've watched to this point, I still don't know why you're not yet subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, do well to hit the subscribe button right now. Turn on your notification bell so that when I post new videos, you get to see them. Also, do well to follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram at Sew with Tia. That's a new account. I have a previous account, Tia Fash, but then I discovered that it's not representing what I'm doing here, so I had to create another one. So please do well to follow me, Sew with Tia, and let's grow together. I'm going to be posting fashion tips on Instagram, fashion designing tip from time to time. I also sell beginner sewing tools. So if you're in Nigeria, you can do well to get your sewing tools with me, pattern master, 7-in-1 ruler set, just name it. I have everything in place. So after joining Together Farm, I also went ahead to join the skirts to the upper part. And this is the final look, as you can see. In fact, I'm loving this already. And I can't wait for my clients to rock this so that I can put the picture up. So what do you think, fam? Will you be trying this? Thank you so much for watching. I remain Justina. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.